Hi, this is Jinx2K with another tutorial video. I made my last video with the PUBG loading screen fix, and it was a bit long, and it was I could done it much shorter. I know, but I'm IT guy. I'm an IT guy, and uh, I always go a bit deeper and explaining things to people that are not familiar with that. But um, I wanted really to help with that, and maybe I would just do it shorter. I will probably edit it. But in this case, it's this video should be much more important, and these steps can be used for any games. But some of these specific steps are only for PUBG, so you can jump all over it. I will explain it later. So this video should help you with problems with stutters, and crashes. Um, these steps will also give you better smoothness in game, and it will basically fix some of the issues related to game user settings. I will come to this part, so let's jump right away to it, and we will use these steps. You don't have to follow it in generically, but I would recommend just going one step by another because, for example, these two are connected to one each other. So yes, all we have to do here, copy this command. So it's on our clipboard. Search for PowerShell or CMD, the command prompt. Uh, right click, run as an administrator, press yes. Only right click. This will bring up our clipboard. So, and just confirm with enter. This is basically a command, a Windows command tool that is searching for uh, corrupted files. It's more related to the second step. Um, what this command does is bring actually image which like searches for those system32 files and basically looks if there's something that needs to be replaced. And once this is done, we'll go with the step 2. So I will speed this up. I will speed this step up and see you in a second. So um, this is basically done here. You will not see any issues. Basically, only if there was some replaces done. But the following is comment the SFC scan now. If it brings some corrupted files, it means oh, I'm sorry. I just copied it wrong. So basically, make sure to copy it correctly. Um, so just copy paste, hit enter, and wait to finish. I'm also gonna speed this step up. See you in a second. I'm back. So this step showed me that I have no problems. But if you will find that it found corrupted files, it basically fixed it already. So these steps are very important, and it's I would say like in 60% it will solve your issues. Um, so yeah, you don't have to do anything again. So you don't have to run the SFC scan now if you found corrupted files because it will state that it found and fixed the issues for you. So let's jump to another step, and this step is basically only for PUBG because it's the game user settings. So the settings that we all have in our PUBG is basically written down in a simple ini file. This ini file can be edited. You can change your keys, keybinds, or whatever, but just using game user settings. So how do you go to there is basically um, local app data. So all you have to do is just copy the first one, third step, copy paste, copy and paste into address bar, hit enter, search for TslGame, which is this, going to saved, going to config, going to WindowsNoEditor, and search the GameUserSettings.ini. You don't have to open this one because these are backups. I will tell you later what it means actually. So what we have to do here is just double click. It will open with um, sorry with Notepad. So why I'm showing this to you, it's basically it's much more easier to change things in PUBG itself. But in this case, I'm gonna show you some things that PUBG did calculate it, and sometimes you have blurry screen, your game is blurry, but you don't know why. Everything what you do, it doesn't change it. So you keep deleting the game or whatever, this restoring this settings and etc. And basically fix it something for you, but in most of the cases it stays. So I had certain people that had this issue, and this issue is related to the fact what I noticed is the screen scale. Uh, if you can't see it directly on the screen, just Control F on the file, on the open file, and just it's gonna open the search bar for you. Just write down screen scale, press enter, hit enter, and you will see this number. You won't see this in PUBG because in PUBG it will tell you, for example, 90, or it will show here 99 dot 99999 and whatever decimals. Um, I'm using 90 screen scale. This is the resolution, um, 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 basically quality in PUBG. It's not the resolution itself. It's a um, um, basically by default it's 100. I'm using 90 because I'm playing on 2K and it's much more smoother for me to put it down. Some people playing on full HD, they are gonna play on 120, so what they might see is 119 dot and decimals. This is basically an odd number because it should be uh, um, basically a two digit or two digit and by zeros. In this case, I have problems, so my game is basically blurred. Can't see very well. So what I have to do is just round it by the next bigger number. So in this case, here it's 89. If you use 100, it should be 99. If it's 120, it will be probably 119. So I'm just gonna exchange this with 90 and then basically 6 zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All I have to do, save. You can then start the game. It will still be the same as an in-game, but it will actually read the exact number. I'm not gonna open PUBG now because I know I fixed my issue, but in some of the other issues related to this path that we just opened here is basically it holds different files like cohash, crashes, like whatever you had before it, like related to a crash, demos, this integrity checks, logs, and etc. It's very clear here, for example, but you will have probably more if you never deleted this. So what I have to do here to fix the issues is basically I'm going to copy my game user settings. You can do this for any other reasons. Why? Because if you're gonna reinstall Windows, you can actually preserve your settings without having them in the cloud because the cloud settings, nah, I don't believe them anytime because sometimes they're just not correctly implemented or whatever. So I like to keep it clean. So what I do is I copy that game user settings ini This is the one that we just saved it earlier. Uh, I'm gonna copy it to my desktop and keep it as a backup. So the next step, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna hit TslGame, and I'm just gonna delete the whole folder here, which is saved. So right click, delete. Don't be afraid. There's nothing gonna happen because once you start the PUBG, once you start PUBG, it's gonna um, create the files for you, everything, including the game user settings, but with default settings. So what we have to do is just let PUBG run, close it right away, and I'm gonna show you the next steps. Speed up. Okay, so we see it's been already created, but there are like no integrity checks, no whatever, you know. So it indicates to me that well, it runs with fewer files than before. It's gonna create this. It created the game user settings, which is the old one. So I'm just gonna close PUBG because it created already all the files that I needed. Now what I have to go do is I'm going back to desktop. I'm copy the file, the game user settings that we created as a backup. So copy, go back to TslGame save config WindowsNoEditor, right click on an empty space and just paste. It's gonna ask us if we want to replace the file in the destination. Yes. So what it means, we will overwrite the one that we use from the desktop with the one that is using the default settings. So we now have our keys back as it was. And we showed this step. This is actually the second step what we did with this path, and this step is also making your in-game related stuff easier. It's gonna take a bit more cache because it's some kind of rendering. So, but it also fixes related issues, specifically to game stutters. Um, so that should be it. You're done. You can start now PUBG. It's gonna load your default settings. So, our we need to download DDU from Guru 3D. So this tool is used to delete all graphic drivers and its settings. Mm, so we can use this following link, which I'm gonna put in the description. You can use it to download. There are think two mirror links. It's either EU or NA. Um, just download the zip file. It's gonna show up like this. All you have to do, right click, extract all, extract to the same specific folder. It's gonna open a new one with unzip folder. We have to go into the folder and just double click the DDU file. Just press on run. Extract again. So it's gonna extract the folder called DDU. Open this and run the display driver uninstaller. Confirm with yes. It says it noticed that you have launched DDU uh, outside of a safe mode, but in most of the cases it's not required. Um, but should you have any specific issues to your graphic card drivers or in-game issues, whatever, even after you do this, you will have to go to safe mode. There are plenty of um, YouTube videos that is showing how you enter into safe mode. So safe mode is in addition to separate Windows operative system that is loading just the default necessary services, so you can start the same thing in safe mode. But in this case, it's really not too much required, so I'm just going to continue here. Once this is loading up, um, you can specify what if there is anything specific that you need to delete, just delete. The one thing that if you have some specific NVIDIA control panel system settings, you can just check mark this and it's gonna save your settings. But I would not recommend this. Specifically, if you know what you do, you would do it again. This just let this program delete all your settings because it might be something that you have done and it's causing that issues. So you can, as I said, I recommend do not checkmark this. Close this and this is the window that I was mentioning. It's not in safe mode, but just proceed, press OK. All you have to do is select the GPU and select which of these uh, is your graphic card. It's either NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel. In this case, I have an NVIDIA. All I'm gonna do is oh yeah, there's a specific settings. As you can see here, I have a check mark that it's not installing the driver based on Microsoft. So what's usually the case if you do not install NVIDIA graphic drivers individually, Windows has its own. So it will update your graphic card with its standard driver. It's gonna work everything normal, but it's not using the addition from NVIDIA. So if you see this as I am seeing, you already did it. If you don't, just click on it. It should show the same thing that I'm showing you right now. So if I click this, it's gonna be that it automatically installs the drivers. But we don't want it. We just want a driverless device. So once this is set up, just press clean and restart and wait the program. It will restart automatically. So once you do this, um, go back to your system and download the newest drivers. What you can do is download the driver before you do this because it's the resolution of your monitor might be just the default and it's not set up and it's yeah, it's gonna be like a bit slowish because it's not using the exact driver. So make sure you download the exact driver for your graphic card specifically. Install it without GeForce Experience, and I really mean it. That um, it's actually called now NVIDIA App. Unless you are using it for in-game um, recording for your, I don't know, kills, whatever, do not use it. So the only good thing about NVIDIA App or early name GeForce Experience is it updates your graphic card every time there is a new one. Um, but it should not be a problem for you to check regularly once a month for the newest driver by your own and just download it, install it, and you're good. Um, for me, NVIDIA App or GeForce Experience is just an additional bloatware that just keeps in the background, does some things, and if you have a mid-ish to low-end PC, it's grabbing your FPS. Um, Clean and restart the program. It's gonna restart the Windows and you're good to it. Install the driver and you're done. Um, so the next step is very important. Uh, it's a tool, it's a script, basically created by myself, and so what it does is uh, uh, um, It removes the bloatware and unnecessary services. It cleans your log files that you will never ever read. So log files related to Windows um, that you don't need. It's just like somewhere in the background. If you're using some forensic stuff, but I think you don't. Uh, um, it does delete your temporary files, which is also important. It removes the registry keys from unused bloatware services like Xbox and etc. There's one thing to mention: if you're using OneDrive cloud, make sure you don't use the script. So, or you use it and just mm, back up your files. In case you run the script and you realized, because I had some users that use the script, it deleted the OneDrive and for some reason the files have been removed from the desktop. But don't worry, the files are stored um, in a local state on your PC called folder OneDrive backup folder. So your files are not gone; they are still in the cloud somewhere. But you need to download it or just find the folder with the backup. Um, why OneDrive? It's a it's a background service. It keeps running. It has its timestamps, and when it runs, it just uses your SSD, uses your CPU, and etc. So yeah, um, that's why it's in there. So uh, I'm gonna put this FPS boost pack in a zip file, add it to as a download file in the description. All you have to do, right click, extract all, extract it, and it's gonna open this folder. It's gonna create this folder. It's called FPS boost pack. What we have to do is we have three folders. Let's just run one by one. So let's start with batch optimizations. Uh, these are batch files. So basically, the first one is clear DNS cache and ping improve. It's deleting all related settings to the DNS. It's not deleting your DNS settings in that matter if you are using Google 8.8.8.8, whatever. It stays there, but it's just deleting the cache. So what you have to do, right click, run as admin, confirm, yes, and it's done. Press any key to continue, enter, it's closed. Delete log files. This is the log files that I mentioned. It's basically deleting the logs related to Windows, which you will never ever read and you don't need it, but it's just uh, using mm, some connections between applications. So let's clean it up. Run as admin. Confirm yes. Let it run. If you see any access denied or whatever, don't worry. It's that means it's basically the application is in use and it cannot be deleted. So related files. So if I have a file open and it's connected to the log file, of course it's gonna show up at the access denied because if something is open, Windows is not allowed to um, close the process or delete it. It will show for sure some access denied, but don't worry. Just wait till it finishes and so I'm just gonna check. Oh yeah, it's already finished. Press any key to as you can see, there was an access denied because something was writing to this log file. So all good. Most of the files has been deleted anyways. Just press enter and you're done. Temporary files, run as admin. If something is in use, it will show you also access denied. In this case, delete it, enter, and you're done. Disable high precision. It's a timer. Um, it's not common for like the newest PCs, but it's still existing. For the newest system is the ACPI. So what it does, it actually by enabling HIPAT is increasing your performance, but it's causing some issues to games. So This is a setting, Windows setting that is actually just changing the settings to disable it. There is a settings also in BIOS, so if you do disabling this, I mean, I recommend use it. And there's also settings in BIOS that you can disable high precision timer, but just disabling it. All you have to do is just during the setup of your PC, just hit the required key to enter into BIOS and search for high precision timer, and you can disable it. Um, I'm gonna run it, what it does. So just continue. I have this already disabled earlier, so I can do it again. So once we are done with this, let's go with Windows optimizations. This is something that it goes through your registries and sets from 1 to 0, which basically disables unnecessary services. So you can go through and check what it does. It's disabling some things that you will never ever use, but they're running. Okay, and here you can go for that. Like there is a Windows event collector. You don't need it. You will never need it, except if you're some forensics guy. But whatever. I'm just gonna do it anyways. So press yes, and again yes. Adding information can unintentionally change or delete values. Yes, we are changing values. So I'm just confirming if yes. So the keys are keys and values contained. Blah blah blah. Okay. Um, Next step is the Windows GUI, the most important thing. Um, all you have to do, run. So right click, run with PowerShell. It should show you this window, but I have seen people that have problems, it's just not popping up. So what you have to do is just find PowerShell, sorry, um, right click, run as admin. So we have to write down a set execution policy, which means set execution policy, same exact as I wrote down, and I have to provide the following. It says unrestricted. Okay, I'm gonna write it actually down in the description. So let me add on a second if needed. Just give me a second. I'm not gonna cut this, as I said. I'm not an creator. I'm not so creative as others, so I'm just gonna run this as a human being with errors. So I'm not gonna cut this. I'm gonna paste the comment here in case this bloatware is not working for you. So once you open PowerShell with administrator rights, once you edit this command inside, hit enter. It's gonna ask you blah 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 blah. The recommended is press A, like A as a letter, enter, and you're done. And then what you have to do, just run the file again. Run, right click, Windows Bloatware GUI, run with PowerShell. It's gonna open this GUI file. Uh, there are only a few things from this list that I recommend you to use. So it's let's start. Remove all bloatware. So I'm just gonna run it. It's um, deleting like Eclipse Manager, Microsoft pip project, Xbox, whatever. I'm sure you're not using Xbox with your Windows. If you're using this script, is going to delete all the services, but you can enable them back. So there is also revert registry change that is basically present. Um, but all of these services are causing some unrelated stutters, whatever it really does. So once it finishes, it's gonna say finish at all tasks. Okay, let's start with a different one. So the next step is Cortana. Um, if you're not using Cortana, disable. Cortana has been disabled, is done. Um, if you want to use these Edge, PDWF, whatever, it's not important. Dark theme, it's up to you if you want dark theme or not. I'm using personally dark theme. Um, the other thing is uninstall OneDrive. As I said earlier, if you're using OneDrive, don't use this option. OneDrive is a cloud backup, so it backups your personal file. So if you reinstall your Windows, you use OneDrive again, it's gonna download it back. But if you uninstall it for like by mistake, don't worry, your files are still there. It's in the cloud or it's in the backup OneDrive on your local drive. I'm personally not using it. I will never use it. I have other things where I'm storing my backup files, so I'm uninstalling just because it's running constantly. It's running constantly. In their measures, even if you delete it manually, it still pops up as a uh what's it called? Um, it still pops up. It's not enabled, but showing you it's not enabled. It's a feature that they just want to sell it to you for some additional storage if you exceeded the limit. So once the drive has been uninstalled, go with the following, which is remove bloatware reg keys. So all these things that we just deleted, the applications, we don't want to have additional written location paths from these because what it Windows does, even if you delete it, an application, it has some is still has some traces of it. It's not so important to do this, but I like to keep my system clean. So remove bloatware keys, reg keys, so it's deleting all the paths that has been mentioned up that was deleted. It's gonna just make it um, much more cleaner. You will probably have more than I do because I was running this file already, and it's just gonna pop up from a while. If you have an update, it's gonna show up again from. You can use it on a regular basis monthly. Uh, so we are complete. We are done here. There's nothing more to need it. Other settings, as I said, if you have problems, there's the related changes, and you got to it. I'm gonna close this down. So we are done with step 5. Let's go with step 6. Uh, most of you probably know this feature. It's it's only if there are if your game is not starting. It's not related to crashes because if there was some files missing, it will start up. So if it's not starting up, all you have to do just to go to your Steam inventory for games. For some reason it doesn't show up. Where is it? Okay, so we need to go to the games library of Steam. Right click on the PUBG game itself. Go to properties. By the way, I'm using Korean rating. Korean rating, what it does, you don't see dead bodies, so you don't shoot by mistake on dead bodies in the game, and it makes your body different when you while shooting. And the only bad thing is the Molotov. I don't like it because sometimes I don't know where the Molotov starts when it finishes. Um, but I use it anyway. Korean rating, it's case sensitive, so you can use this as an alarm shots. So where to find the verify integrity of the game files is go to installed files and just click this verify integrity of game files. So it's going to run a while. It's going to check if there's something missing and has to be replaced. It will tell you if it fixed or not. But make sure you run this while your PUBG is closed. So this should be it. It's a basic thing. As I said, it's only related if your game is not starting. So let's start with another step. most of the times, I'm on a Discord server. I own a clan. We are about 100 people inside, different location, international, and people talk between each other, and they tend to message me to help them, to assist them with issues. So what I do, I just make a schedule so I don't have to repeat it every time to a single person. I just invite them like 5 to 10 people. We are all inside the same channel and we discuss it and I show what they need to do. So it's easier for me to show 10 people than one by one. So I show it once and good. So that's also one of the reasons why I decided to make this video. Um, this is the easiest way to check your memory speed because most of you don't use any specific software because you think I just bought a PC, it should run as it should. Eh, because mm, most of if you bought a PC like in whole, um, sometimes or very often it happens that they forgot they just install the Windows or they don't install the Windows, which is one of the basic things why they forget is to enable the XMP profiles. So what is XMP? It's a memory profile that it's set on the memory. So let's say you buy a memory DDR4, DDR5. Let's say we are talking about DDR4 because most of you are still on DDR4, and you bought them with 3600 speed megahertz. But um, if you don't enable XMP, it's going to read 2400. And it's a huge difference running PUBG on 2400 against 3600. So the easiest way is to go to double check, and I'm sure you know what your memory you bought, or you don't know, you're not so good and familiar, but I can tell you one thing. If it's below 3000, your XMP is not enabled. In this case, I have a memory for on 6000. It's CL28, DDR5. If I would read here 3000 and I know I have DDR5, it's way less because I'm not using XMP. If you have less than 3000, um, in a specific matter, because most of you it will show 2400. You have to go to your BIOS. You need to so once you start your PC up, it's gonna be fast, but you need to hit it, like really hit it. The button that allows you to go into BIOS. You don't have to worry about. You only have to find one specific settings. Um, uh, so most of the time it's delete F2 to go into the BIOS. Once you are in the BIOS, it should show you what is the button for advanced settings. Once you hit the advanced settings, it will show you a section with memory settings. And there is most of the times is the first line, but it says profile. You have to open this. Once you open this, you can select either profile 1 or profile 2. I would recommend in 90% to use the profile 1 because that's the one that your memory settings are. You need to select this and find a section where it says save settings and restart. You need to save it. Once you're back in your Windows, you can again go to your task manager, go to performance tab, select memory, and read the speed here 6000. So if it was 2400, I can guarantee it will show you now 3600. And voila, you have 30 more FPS. Even more, depends on your system. So I think that should be it. It's a very important because this is physically. It's not software. It's physical. And once it's physical, it definitely impacts your gameplay. Um, Step number 8, MSI AfterBurner. I have personally NVIDIA 3090. It's not as strict or whatever, but it's still a 3090. I'm playing on 2K, so which means it will use and utilize more GPU than CPU. It will go hot. It will really go hot. It will bump up my uh, temperature. What I'm using here is MSI Afterburner. What it does, it basically I used undervolt, which means I'm giving less energy to the card, which produces less temperature. And with less temperature, you can get actually better stable FPS because it doesn't throttle. It doesn't go to a specific temperature where it hits the self-protection and goes down, because self-protection is actually preserving that your card doesn't blow up. Why I'm not going to show you what needs to be done here is because I have a specific card. You probably have a different one. Maybe have 4080, 4090, 4070 or whatever. Go to YouTube and search your graphic card and MSI Afterburner. Believe me, this is a life changer. It's gonna it also extends your lifetime of your graphic card because it's not hitting the max temperature. Okay. One of the additional surprises, just and only related to PUBG, is the sound. It's not a fix. I mean, it is actually a fix because uh, I'm, I have a clan of 100 people and I play with everyone, from noobs to semi-pros or whatever. So newcomers, or even those with 2,000, 3,000 hours of gameplay, are telling me that they can't hear what I can hear. So most of the times it's it's a thing with your headphones. But it's also related to PUBG because PUBG is weird. So let's say this step it should call be hearing steps better. Um, what we have to do, go to control panel, Windows search, control panel is the easiest way. Go to sound, select your headset, go to properties here. Oh, sorry, selected the wrong one. This headset is actually my chat. Select the one that is actually producing some sound. As you can see, you can just go to your volume and just click the one that is showing the green whatever, and go to properties. The next step is go to enhancements. The next step is loudness equalization. It needs to be checked, and then you need to apply it. Make sure if you are on Discord, just change the channel because somebody will not hear you because you just changed some settings to your file. Um, additional settings, like after you confirm this with OK, blah blah blah, you go to PUBG and you see, whoa, the change is just better. But you want to bit experiment. You can go back, select loudness equalization. There is a settings button. You either go to short or you go to long. I would recommend not going one step too low or one step more of that. Like just change one step short or one step long. What it actually does, it will give you sound related to short, which means you will hear sounds better that is closer to you, but you will not hear a car like that is like passing 200 meters far from you. But it's gonna concentrate more on shorter distances. So that's why I would recommend staying on default as you should, but it depends really on your headphones. You can test it out. What more comforts you. Um, and believe me, this setting is a life changer too because 60% of the gameplay, how you gameplay, is related to sound. You can locate the player accurately. You know when he's pushing you. You know where he's moving. You can predict. You can pre-fire him. Whatever. So it's a life changer too. Um, I think I'm gonna end this here, and hopefully any of these steps that I just marked here below is gonna help you, um, or helped you. Please write in the comment if it did or if it doesn't. What can I improve? If there are some other things that you have and I can assist you, I would really love to create some additional content out of it. I'm not a creator, like I'm not a creative person, so I'm just gonna like rawly present it to you, and hopefully I can assist you in some ways. Thank you so much. Please leave a like, subscribe on YouTube, and thank you so much, and have a nice day.